What up, everybody? Welcome to the smartest show on the entire internet. Drinking on Dos Equis today. Brandon, the store for me to get the beer. And he got Dos Equis because I think he knows I'm the most interesting man in the world. Hello, I'm Johnny K.
That was part of it.
Oh, I just tried to drink one without a thing. But I've been in the mood lately. Just, I don't know, everything's going great for business. And I hate when everything's going great because that means I have no challenges or nothing to fight for. So I've just been going through the motions a little bit, being patient. And am I okay? I'm all right. I'm doing all right.
Are you depressed?
I'm depressed. No, my body doesn't have I don't think my brain has the ability to be depressed. I really don't. But
I didn't get twisted.
It's as depressed as I get. I'm just in a regular mood and everything's going great. And I hate when everything's going great. My business sales this month are up at all-time high. Not all-time high, but probably one of our best months ever. Everything's going wonderful, but that's why you guys come here to cheer me up for the stupidest and the smartest show on the entire internet, Drink and Grow Rich. So cheers, everybody. Happy Friday. You guys like the whiteboard thing? We've been doing the whiteboard thing the last 2 episodes where Brandon gives me concepts and I draw them. So
let's start.
Should we start right off with a whiteboard?
Yeah, there's 11 people and let's go.
Do I watch anime? Fuck no. Do I look like a fucking weirdo? I don't really know. I don't watch anime. Oh yeah, where's that opener? All right, so we're gonna start?
Yeah.
Boom, all right. Me and 12 of my best friends.
All right, I'm giving you a question Rachel gave me.
Okay.
Draw yourself as a superhero.
Draw myself as a superhero. Hecker says no more drawing. Well, I respect your opinion. I gotta do this one. And then maybe you can switch back and forth. Really, the show Drink or Rich is supposed to be I answer questions. And if no one's giving me fucking questions,
I'm gonna give you questions.
Then no. Just because one guy said it, my good friend.
Ashtray said let's go.
All right, myself as a superhero. Businessman. He has the ability to get 1 million likes with every single post. He has the ability to make money, and any second he can go like this, and he can get 25 employees pop in, run and work. Anything he needs in business, he can go boom. Every obstacle that business owners have to fight hard through and challenge themselves for months and months and months and fight a problem. He has the ability to solve problems. And you wanna know what else I would have? Every time I have to make a tough decision, I would have the ability to make the right decision right off the bat, right away. So if I have 2 things going on in my head and I'm like, which one should I do? Superhero Sean would automatically make the right decision because he can see the future and know the outcomes. So I would be businessman, superhero, and I'd be able to create businesses from scratch that employ a lot of people, make a lot of money. And I don't know. That's my answer to being a superhero. I gotta work on the outfit. So.
The Asher said how you like that Shopify outage earlier.
Oh, actually, it was very short. The Shopify outage. You know about that, Ashtray. I like that. It's a good question. It affected me for about 15 minutes. No one could buy anything from the site. Customer service at my office was calling me, asking me like, what's going on? The site's down. I can't answer people's questions. And I always know the best thing about when anything's going on like that, like with Shopify or anything, and I'm not sure if it's something that's happening to me or something that's happening to everyone. If you go to Twitter, you can find out all the information you need. So I was curious this morning if it was just my site that was down or anything. And I went to Twitter, typed in Shopify, I saw a bunch of people bitching, and I knew that it was a Shopify problem. And then I know that they're gonna fix it if everyone's working on it. Terrible superhero.
Young Queen said, how do I get some beer money? And she looking kind of cute in that profile picture.
Oh, Brandon says you're looking kind of cute in that profile picture. Brandon's on the prowl. How do you win some beer money? You ask me a good, insightful question that starts a conversation.
She actually says bear, so B-E-A-R.
Oh, you want bear money? All right, I'll give you some of that bear money. I don't even know what the fuck would be bear money.
D Hacker says buy a pie.
That's someone that just came in, probably.
Uh,
You think you could beat up a bear?
Fuck.
Someone told me, I forget if it was on this show or somewhere. Someone told me that. Oh no, I think it was Shelby's sister's boyfriend Zach said he would be able to beat up a wolf and fight a wolf.
Fuck no.
And I was like, no, you could not.
Wolves are huge.
Wolves are also fucking vicious. So I don't know. I feel like I could defeat animals in a fight, but I would have to get away from them and then shoot them with a gun. That's humans' greatest weapon, the ability to think. And animals are just like, "Rah!" Animals are so fucking stupid.
Someone says is Joe Biden a mummy.
Is Joe Biden a mummy? He's old. Nah, Joe Biden did a good job yesterday. I like Joe Biden, man. He's. Come on, man. Come on,
Yeah,
buddy. Come on, man. All I'll say is this: if Joe Biden wins, which I think is very, very unlikely, I will embrace him, of course, and I will start putting the phrase "no malarkey" into my vocabulary. That's my favorite thing about Joe Biden, is that he says, "No malarkey, no malarkey," and that's like one of his phrases. He did the "no malarkey" bus tour. Like, it's kind of funny. I like it. I like the "no malarkey" shit.
Jake Lawyer said, what's next after monograms?
It's a good question, but one thing at a time. Like, I'm kind of in that stage right now where I'm dominating my current business, but once I get this new building, expand the monograms, I got a long way to go with monograms. It's a $30 million industry. We're only at $6 million. There's a lot to take over. So focusing on monograms for the future. And the other thing I'm doing is the podcast.
K. Fred said, what are your thoughts on Facebook banning Holocaust denial content?
Dude, I will say that Facebook is fucking annoying. Like, somebody said, I think Sacha Baron Cohen, like, was complaining about Facebook and their ads or something like that. He's like, if Hitler was alive, he'd be able to advertise on Facebook. Like, no, he wouldn't, because for my podcast, like, sometimes I post it on Facebook, and I'll sometimes run, I'll promote it, try to get some views, try to get it people over to the podcast on YouTube. And most of my podcasts, I can't even run an ad for them because something is not acceptable. Yesterday, on United Monograms, I posted a picture of a girl in a white sweatshirt with a little holly thing, and I said $20 off, and then I said it's never too late, or it's never too early to get into the holiday season. And I ran it on Facebook, and I ran the ad. This is what I do for United Monograms. I run ads like that. And it was denied because it was relating to politics or elections. And I was like, what the fuck? So I deleted it. So, like, they don't let you do shit. So then, on my personal Facebook page, sorry, I got a call. On my personal Facebook page where I promote the podcast and stuff, I went on there and I run ads like a little bit to promote the podcast. Not too much, because I'm not making any money. We just kind of like get some people looking at it. And mostly all of my podcasts, they don't allow it. So the one thing they said is that you need to go get what's the word where someone stamps something, a notarized document to prove that you're you. So, like, I went to the UPS store the other day and I got a notarized document and I filled it out, and they still say I can't run shit. So, like, I had my podcast with Adam Sosnick.
Yeah.
They won't let me promote the highlight reel. They won't let me promote the highlight reel with Alex. Like, it's very hard to promote political content at all on Facebook. They deny you. They even deny one of our United Monograms ads. So, I don't know. Facebook says, like, we don't want to be involved in deciding what's true and what's not, but they're fucking annoying as far as just banning your ads. Like, they just don't take any risks. If anything is kind of political or anything, which I'm not that political, they don't let you run their ads. So it's not that easy. Not anyone can just run ads to anything. They're really strict about it.
All right, I got some tons of questions coming in. Have you ever seen Borat?
Fuck yeah, I've seen Borat.
Borat 2 comes out today.
It comes out today?
It's on Amazon Prime.
All right. Like, I feel like it'll be all right.
They got a clip with,
I gotta see it.
Have you heard about, they have the clip with Rudy Giuliani?
Yeah, Rudy Giuliani. He did something with Mike Pence too, and he's like, Mike Penis, or like Mike Penis, or something like that. I have low expectations for Borat 2. It's a tough act to follow, but I will watch it.
K. Pratt said Tesla's on track to have its first profitable year. Do you feel personally responsible for their success.
Yes. I feel personally responsible for Tesla's success, not only because I'm a proud Tesla driver, also my promotion of Tesla to my giant audience. Me personally is responsible for the huge uprise in Tesla's profits and their stock price. Absolutely. Obviously, it's 100% because of me.
All right, so since Rachel joined, she has some questions. We're going to do one more drawing.
All right, how are you optimizing your conversions and data and A/B testing in the buy flow?
Oh, gosh.
I don't do enough A/B testing, honestly. Like, I do A/B testing. Like, if an ad sucks, I'll turn it off. If an ad's rocking, I'll jack up the ad spend. I do A/B testing, not A/B testing. I do A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P testing. I post up 50 pictures on Facebook. The ones that get the most likes, I put some text in there, and then I put a link to the product, and then I run ads on them. And the ones that convert the most, I run more money to those ads, and I just keep running money to the ads that are working, and the ads that are dying and not doing as well, I just turn them off. So I don't do A/B testing. I do A, B, C, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, Q, R, S, T, U, V, W, X, Y, Z testing. All right, what's the next one?
All right, combine animals to make your own mythical creature. And you got to drink every 10 seconds, remember.
This is like cat dog, alone in the world with little cat dog. The ultimate one is like the Mintar or whatever. It's like a, what is it? It's like a man and a horse or something like that.
That's a Sagittarius.
Okay.
That's me, man.
Draw two animals that I could combine together.
Combine animals to make your own mythical creature.
All right. Like, I'm not that interested in animals, to be honest. That's why I like the one that combines an animal with a human.
Do it.
But my own mythical creature, all right.
Okay, combine animals and celebrities to make your own mythical creature.
All right.
You can make like a Trump monster. Oh, you're getting better at it. Getting better at drawing. Is that a fucking pig cow?
It's Kanye and a cat. Cat gay. Kanye's so fucking stupid, dude. I don't like him that much anymore. He's like, I'm running for president. He's like, no, you're not, dude. You just literally didn't get on any ballots. You're just asking people to write you in. Are video games a sport? Okay, I'll talk about that. Because my podcast that is like, it's actually already on Spotify and iTunes.
The video will probably come out much
and
more.
And the video is going to be coming out soon. So I did a full like hour and a half podcast with the esports guy. Esports. Fascinated by the topic. The one reason I'm confused by it is because it's not the same as traditional sports as far as how it started. Basically, more people make more money as being personalities and playing games. Actually, AOC, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, just had the third biggest Twitch stream of all time. She was playing some stupid ass video game on Twitch, and it got the most streams ever. She was like trying to get people out to vote. Sorry, someone tried to call me. But the competition is coming second to the personalities of getting your attention. So if you're a young gamer, you can enter contests to try to make the most money, but you also want to try to have a personality so that you can get people on your stream and make money like that. The world is developing. Back in the day, there was the AFL and the NFL, and they combined, and then there was the ABA and the NBA, and they combined into one league. Like, it's in the early stages of competition, and it does need to condense into like where all the best players go, but it's a little ahead of itself and it's a little behind itself. To understand what's going on, it's hard to compare it to traditional sports. It's a little confusing. But listen to my podcast that's coming out. I literally break it down to a science about if you know nothing about esports and you know it's popular and you're confused, the podcast will answer all of your questions. I had esports, VaynerMedia, Vayner Gaming, Darren. What was Darren's last name?
Glover.
Darren Glover. Darren, this is D Glove is all his Instagram handles. We had a great talk about esports.
And he's the director and head division of Vayner Gaming.
Yeah. And all they do is represent talent. like a sports agency. He would represent players and quarterbacks and receivers and point guards. He represents the talent, and he's trying to make them money. And you can make more money being a personality than you can from entering competitions and winning money. It's a complicated world, and we break it down in the podcast. So listen to the podcast.
Someone asked, what professional athlete would you compare yourself to?
Ooh, that's a good one. Who asked that?
It's gone now, but...
Scroll up. It's a good question. What professional athlete would I compare myself to? Well, last night on Thursday Night Football, there was this caricature, this drawing of Daniel Jones, the Giants quarterback, and dude, it looked exactly like me. Exactly like me. Like, I don't look like Daniel Jones, but the picture of him looked exactly like me. It was fucking crazy. I don't know. I like to say Tom Brady only because obviously he's the best, so it's like, oh, I'm comparing myself to the best. I'm not saying because he's the best, that's why I'm Tom Brady. I say I would like that because his fucking intensity on the sidelines, I fucking love that shit. And he's not that talented, he's not the fastest, but he just wins with smarts and intensity. So that's the first thought that comes to my head. I could also be like I'm trying to think about a recent championship team in basketball, like Rondo is not the best player on the team. Like, I'm down to be on a team where I'm not the best player, and I will help the team win. Like,
Kyle Lowry.
Yeah. Kyle Lowry, Daniel Jones, and Tom Brady for various reasons, to answer the question specifically. Think anyone in an office would notice if your pencil was in the other ear for a day? First of all, I have no idea what pencil or what ear I wear my pencil in. It's different all the time. And sometimes I don't wear it. It's funny, no one at my office, none of my employees ever mentioned the pencil. They don't, I think they're aware of it. My employees never mentioned the pencil. So if it was in the other ear, they definitely wouldn't notice. But they don't say anything about it. I don't know. I don't know. I don't even know if my employees watch this or if they listen to my podcast or know I have that shit, but cheers, everybody. Every live stream is the same. Actually, maybe I am adapting to one side. What is this? This is my right side. It's reverse for you guys. I'll put it in this one for here. See how it feels.
All right. Picture time. You gotta show one of your pictures you got. Art.
Is it true that you have a pencil tattoo on your lower back? No comment.
No, one of your piece of artwork.
Oh. All right. So I randomly went on a spree the other night and bought a bunch of shit on Amazon. And every single podcast, I'm going to have a different background picture. If you watch my podcast, I always have Ray Charles back there. Ray Charles, Remember the Titans, the pencil shit, Teddy Roosevelt. I've had the same background for a while. And so I got some different shit. Here they are. A frog on a Puerto Rican flag. A spooky pumpkin. What's the stupidest thing you've ever bought? That is absolutely what I'm showing you right now. This spooky witch scene. Woo! This says, life is... What's it say? You can read it over there.
Life is short, chill the...
Life is short, chill the fuck out.
Yeah, it says it has a duck in it instead of frog.
And I don't know. I like those little guys peeing. Yeah, one of these actually had
the panda's mine.
One of them had gloves with it that came with it.
What?
Look, all right, so this Kobe Bryant one, I bought this Kobe one, of course. Kobe's a fucking legend. It came with gloves. Isn't that weird? Like, I didn't take off the wrapping yet, but it has gloves in there. Kobe. And the other one I bought was this one.
My favorite.
My message about this is that everybody should get a bidet. I have bidets in all the bathrooms at my house, and I cannot believe more people don't have bidets. It should be in every public bathroom in America, bidets. They keep your ass so fucking clean. And for everyone who doesn't have a bidet and just uses like toilet paper, yo, your ass is dirty as fuck.
Oh, Shelly came on. She said, how many glasses of wine deep when you ordered 12 hideous art canvases?
It was about 4 or 5 glasses.
She says, what the F? La, they are so weird.
So, but I did have a little bit of logic behind it. I just want to have a different one every podcast. So
You did that.
my inspiration is on the network ESPN TV show. What is it? Fucking Around the Horn. Woody Page. And that show, I've been watching it forever. It's still on. Woody Page always had a little whiteboard behind him, and he always had a different quote for every show. And I always liked that. And this is going to be a different thing. For my last podcast, ever since I got this new set, I have the same pictures. I'm just going to have a different random picture every podcast. And maybe it will be relating to the topic and the guest. Even though for 10 episodes, I'm changing how the podcast is going to go. Maybe it'll have nothing to do with it, but I'm just going to change it up.
We got 3 things going. Diecker says, how much for the Puerto Rican frog? Astrea says $40 for the panda right now. And then Go Get AMTP says, what do you do for a living?
I spent like $150 on like 12 different canvases. So I don't know how much the Puerto Rican frog was. Probably $20. What do I do for a living? I drink on Instagram and give people shitty advice that they shouldn't listen to.
Someone says, hey, narrator, can you answer my baseball question?
Oh, what was your baseball question?
I think you said who would win the World Series.
I got to say about baseball, man, and I've said this many times if you heard me say it, I grew up loving baseball, obsessing over baseball, my favorite sport of all time. Baseball fucking blows, dude. It fucking blows. It's so boring. It's so shitty. It's a terrible sport. And I'm sorry. I've already gone through the pain of like understanding people love it. And I hope the Dodgers win though, because I feel like they just fucking keep losing and getting to the World Series kind of. They're kind of like, have the Dodgers won the World Series? Do you even know? Brandon doesn't even know. Brandon's a sports fan. I'm a sports fan. Who won the World Series last year?
Pittsburgh?
Pittsburgh.
Padres?
No. Okay. Brandon said that
they won 2 years ago.
Brandon said the Pittsburgh Padres won last year.
I don't even know baseball. So.
First of all, it's the Pittsburgh Pirates, and they were not in it. And
they won like 2 years.
And the San Diego Padres, neither of those teams won shit.
I'm not sure.
The Royals won 2 years ago. Dude, baseball is falling off of the culture map. It's falling off of the culture map. Like, when I was a kid, if you asked me who won the last 10 World Series, I would know every single one. I would know every player's batting average. Like, I was obsessed with it. Baseball sucks. I hope the Dodgers win because I don't think they won, and I feel like they're always the best team.
Go Get EMTP. He says, dope. You get paid to do that? Drink beer and what you do.
Yeah, no, I don't get paid anything for this, but it is my career, so I'm struggling very much. If any of you guys can donate me money, I really, really need it because all I do is once a week go on Instagram and give shitty advice and get drunk, and that's my only job.
Joel versus the world said, Kenny Joel. Is that Joel?
No, that's not my friend Joel.
Oh, okay.
Can I join? Should I let him join?
Yeah.
All right.
Astros won in 2017. Washington won last year.
Hacker likes baseball. Astros, that's right, the Astros. And the year before that must have been the Royals. Yeah, Washington won last year. I forgot about that. I accepted that person's call, but they didn't come on. How do you pay my bills? Hey, go Temp, go. Go get Temp. Just fucking joking, dude. I have my own business. I have 16 employees, $5 million in revenue.
We're going to say go get them, TP.
Go get them, TP. It's so hard to read people's Instagram names.
Mm.
But speaking of the Dodgers, want to know one of the most crazy stories in sports history? One of the most fascinating stories in the history of all professional sports is the Buffalo Bills. They made 4 Super Bowls in a row. You know how hard it is to go to 4 Super Bowls in a row? And they lost all of them. Did you know that?
2 of them to John Elway?
No.
They were in the 90s, right?
I think it was like early 90s. Jim Kelly was their quarterback. And then he got cancer. It's just the one thing that I get and I respect and I understand is like a lot of the times the team that goes to the Super Bowl, they suck the next year because like they had to deal with all that drama of losing the Super Bowl. This team had the resiliency and the talent and the effort and the playbook and the pure just resiliency to go to the
They
Super
lost to the
Bowl.
Cowboys.
To go to the Super Bowl 4 times in a row. They won the AFC 4 times in a row, and they lost every single one of them.
Lose to the Cowboys.
Like the 5th year, I mean, there was 4 of them. I don't know all the ones they lost to. But in the 5th year, like, you think the fans were like, all right, this is our year. Like, that is an incredible, interesting sports story. Eagles went to 5 straight NFC championships and only won 1. That's not as epic as 4 Super Bowls. Because the thing about the Super Bowl is you have that week in between, and then, like, it's just such a big, like, platform. It's such a big thing.
These young guys.
But that's crazy about the Eagles, too. And they got their Super Bowl. And the Bills are really good right now. The Bills are really good. Tom Brady's out of their division. The Bills could make a run this year. By the way, what's a Bill? Anyway, go ahead.
A Buffalo.
Yeah, I know. Is it?
That's their mascot.
So I know. So they're Buffalo, New York. And Buffalo Bill is a famous Western pioneer whose name was Buffalo Bill. And I think that might be a play on that because a bill is not a nickname for a buffalo. It's not.
All right, these young guys, Joel and Go Get Him. He said, Go Get Him says, what's your business? Joel says, you rich. And then Joel says, what's your salary? They're young guys.
Yeah, I make money. Like, I don't know, I make a couple $100,000 a year. Like, but I don't care about making profits. I care about growing my business. So I have a high revenue. Well, I have a low margin business. So I make a lot of revenue, but I don't make a lot of like tons of profits on it. I have a low margin business. I do well for myself. I can go out to eat whenever I want, shit like that. But like the key to life, here's the first, I haven't had a good last 2 weeks. Like last 2 weeks I've been frustrated and I haven't been happy with my life. Only because everything's been going great. Like on the weekends, I used to have to print shirts and stuff like that. I don't have to do anything anymore. My operations are being run and sales are coming in and everything's going great. All my employees are amazing. Like everything is going incredible. And I hate when everything's going great. I need my next challenge. I need my next step. I know I need it. And one thing is I have a 22,000 square foot building that I'm about to buy. And I've been waiting for like 3 weeks to kind of get this answer. And I've been waiting for the answer. Literally 7 days ago at this exact time, I got an email saying you should know by next week. I think I'm going to get accepted. I just need my next challenge. I need my next challenge. And that is how rich people think. And I'm not saying I'm a rich person. I'm not. There's a lot of people way more successful than me. But the way rich people think is they're not saying I have a lot of money, I'm successful. There's never a number where I'll get to that makes me think I'm rich now, everything's great. Never, never, never. It's not about money. Money and happiness don't correlate. It's about your next challenge, feeding your brain for happiness. And if you can set yourself up where you enjoy your life for that, the next thing is you want to do something big. You want to keep wanting to do something big. You'll be very happy.
Shelby says, who's running your operations?
Well, that's one of the problems. Shelby is absolutely running the operations. And I fired my operations manager because it was all fucking weird and he sucked. But I put out an ad for a purchaser on LinkedIn. Shelby's like, don't do that. Like, Shelby thinks a little more small-minded than I do. And I'm bad at doing the smaller stuff. Like, I'm a big picture thinker. I'm a guider of a company. I have 16 employees and it started with 3 or 4. I'm very patient. I've been patient from the time it was just me in my mom's basement. And then we got 2, 3, 4, 5, every step of the way, I've been patient. The next thing I need to do is be able to hand off my operations. And right now, Shelby's so good at running them that I'm handing it off to her. I know I need to get someone else, but it's just like any day now I should hear about this new building. And then when I hire someone, I need to be able to tell them that, listen, we're going to be moving all the stuff to the new building. I'm just a little bit frozen by the decision from the SBA, the Small Business Association, of whether or not this loan is getting accepted. I think it will. But once it gets accepted, I can start expanding my mind to this whole new world. But since I've been waiting, I've just been annoyed. And yes, Shelby is fucking incredible at running the company. She really is. It's special. It's incredible. I trust her. She's not the best systems thinker and she's not the best big picture thinker, but like, it's easy to come in and be like, oh, I'm a big picture thinker, but like shit's got to get done. Shit's got to get done. We have thousands, and today we probably shipped out 600, 700 packages. That means we had to order the item, lay out the item, print the item, embroider the item. Then we had to ship the item. Like, there's a lot of little details going through the office. We don't have 10 sales getting us all this money. We have tiny sales, and we have to satisfy each tiny customer. There's a lot of logistics that go into that stuff. I like to create the systems that do it. And whenever there's a problem, I like to fix it with a system. And that's sometimes annoying because it needs to be fixed right now. And Shelby will be the best one to solve that problem immediately. She's so smart. She's so talented. She's so good at it. But she's also amazing at sales. And also, I don't know, I feel like my wife running my company isn't like fucking like big time, you know? So I got to step that shit up.
Dick Lawyer says, tell Sean to draw his dream vacation.
This is my dream vacation, bitch. I don't really have a dream vacation. Like, my dream vacation would be something that is a reason to go to a beautiful place that was functionally practical as far as I would go to make money. Like, I don't know. Vacations are fun, I guess, but like, I don't give a fuck about vacations. I was trying to get Shelby to go to Asheville this weekend just because I was been like, I want to do something. I want to like go sit on a mountain and like
do mushrooms.
Yeah, I would absolutely do mushrooms this weekend if I had them. Like 100%. That's the kind of thing I need to do. Like I'm in a stage where I need to like just kind of not think. I didn't come into the office yesterday, and I worked. Of course I did. I went to the gym, but like, I was trying to like just break of my normal schedule. So my dream vacation, you know, beautiful places, beautiful beaches, great food, cool. I can do that anytime. Like, that's awesome. But like, vacations are more about where you're at. If your goal as a business person is to get to a vacation, it doesn't really add up. It doesn't really add up. Like, you can see pictures of Greece. Like, it's more about that's why you do a honeymoon after a marriage, because like you just went through all the stress of the wedding and then you want to just like, for our wedding, it wasn't that much stress for me and Shelby. One, because we're masters of handling stress, and two, because it was like spread out over time. It got canceled. I don't have a dream vacation. My dream vacation would be, doesn't matter where, but after I sell my business for $40 million, I want to sell my business for $40 million when I'm 40 years old. And then the beauty of the vacation isn't where the vacation is. It's what you gotta be. It's where your mind's at. Where your mind is at is what the vacation is about. Beautiful places are great. Beaches are great. Sure. Cool stuff. Great. The point of a vacation is to reset your mind. Reset your mind. I haven't done enough resetting of my mind. When I'm at my desk today, I'm doing the stuff I normally do. I need to reset. And like, I've been planning it for years and months. And I think once I can able to dive deep into this, from a 3,500 square foot building to a 22,000 square foot building, I can reset my mind. All right, enough therapy for me.
All right, you're on and drinking.
All right.
So in 3 images.
Is that a dick? I've drawn a lot of dicks by accident on this. I don't know. Haven't I?
In 3 images, what is the main motivation for individuals in the world?
I mean, this is very well researched. It's all right. This isn't like my opinion. This is
I want your opinion.
I mean, this is biologically true. I'll draw it anyway. It's first thing is people need food and shelter. Food and shelter is first. I don't know. That's a key. That's security. That is having like I'm a bad drawer. Security. Number 2, security. So the first thing human beings need is they need food and they need a roof over their head and clothes. The second thing they need is to feel part of a group. They need to have friends and family. And for 99% of people, their group is their family, their parents, their kids, their aunts and uncles. The second thing people need is security. And then the third thing, and most people, like, if you don't have this, you can't have this. So if you're homeless and you've got nothing, you need food and shelter, and that's all you think about. You can't think about the other things. Most people in modern day America, modern day world, they have food and shelter. Second thing people need is friends and family. And this is where most people get stuck and where most people live at, like, their level of, like, most people don't get to 3. Second thing people need, friends, family. They need to feel like they're loved and that they're a part of something bigger than themselves, which can be family, friends, a company. Most people, friends and family, they need a sense of security. And the third thing they need is, I don't know how to fucking draw it, but like goals and things to achieve. And that's where I'm at. Like, I'm good with food and shelter. I'm good with this. Like, right now, the reason why I've been, like, kind of like not having the best past week or 2 is because I'm stuck at 3. Like, I want to achieve great things. The third thing is achieving your dreams and achieving something that, like, you can set out for that's so important and fulfilling to your happiness. So you have food and shelter, you have a loving family, you have great kids, you have great wife or husband, you have great family. Like, your next step is, like, to figure out what you want to do. And a lot of people get stuck at, what do I want to do? What do I want to do? And that's very normal. That's very, very, very normal for people to be like, I just don't know what I want. I said this before on the book, Think and Grow Rich. Best way to be successful is to know exactly who you want to be, then envision it, and then eventually it'll come true. The hardest part of that is envisioning exactly who you want to be. If you have an exact vision of who you want to be, you'll get there. It's easy because you just focus on it forever. But, like, most people don't know exactly who they want to be. They have clothes, they have food, they have friends and family. They're good. They got a girlfriend. They're like, sex is part of this. They're getting laid. You're getting food. And if you have food and shelter and you don't have, like, a significant other, like, then that's like where a lot of people put their attention to find a significant other. I think that's where Brandon's at, right? Brandon's thinking about the ladies. Like, that's a normal place to be. And then also you can do these things simultaneously, but that's why I love entrepreneurship. That's why I love entrepreneurship. That's why, if you have the stomach for it, if you have the balls for it, if you have the passion for it, being an entrepreneur has a much higher ceiling for happiness than a normal 9-to-5 life, because you're constantly chasing this. And is it frustrating? Yes, but you get more rewards from the achievement of building and growing. And you can also do that with a job and a regular career, but a lot of companies have, like, a little bit of ceilings, you know? So, food and shelter. What was the original question? What are the 3 human something?
What motivates individuals?
What motivates individuals is 1, food and shelter, 2, acceptance, and 3, figuring out yourself. Self-discovery is number 3. And if you're at 3, that's where you're always going to be. You need that self-discovery. And as circumstances change, as situations change, as you grow older, you will have new self-discovery. And for the people who get old, this is how I'm going to live to 150. I'm going to always be having self-discovery. I'm going to always be in stage 3. And I'm always going to be looking for the next self-discovery, the next thing. And, like, that is actually the way to keep your brain sharp. And it is a formula for happiness. Because a lot of people settle. They know they have food. They know they have sex. They know they have love. And then they're good. And they're like 47. And then they're all of a sudden they're good. They're like, I'm 47. I'm great. My kids are great. My wife is great. I have food and shelter. I have enough money for happy things in my life. I've been on a bunch of vacations. And they're good. And then they're 55. And they're like, okay, I've been good for 8 years. Like, now what? That's why fuck vacations. Vacations are more cool. Vacations. So always give yourself something else to strive for to keep you happy. And that will result in a long life, that will result in a happy life. And if you don't have food and shelter, you're going for the food and shelter. If you don't have love and you don't have acceptance, you don't have sex, then you're going for that. And then if you've got all that, you're going for the thing. And you can do the food and shelter in the sex. Oh, you can do it all at the same time. If you're poor and you want to, you can go to McDonald's, get a cheeseburger for $1, pick up a chick there, get laid, marry her, and then buy that McDonald's. But you can always be reaching for the top.
Dick Lawyer says.
No, I'm going to answer this question. Thoughts on the viral cranberry juice skateboard guy? I have zero emotion toward that video. Like, I don't understand how that video is so viral. I have no idea. You know what I'm talking about? You know what he's talking about?
Yeah.
That video has gone so viral. And so many people
I've seen his interviews.
Are saying, like, there's something special about this video. This is a crazy, like, thing. Like, I'm not going to say all those people are wrong. I'm missing something. I've seen that video like 4 times, and it sparks zero emotion inside of me. I don't know, personally, what is so interesting about that video. I have no idea.
Older gentlemen skateboarding, drinking cranberry juice, being happy, singing a nostalgic song in one of the worst years in American history.
Yeah, but like, I don't know. Yeah,
that's what
did you? It obviously sparks an emotion. That video clearly sparks an emotion with people. They like the first time you saw it, did it spark an emotion with you?
Yeah, it's like 15 seconds of like happiness.
Or is it more like everyone told you it was special, so they're like, oh, this is special?
You know, I saw it on Shake Out For It.
Yeah, that video doesn't spark any emotion with me. I don't know why. I have no soul. I don't know. Like I'm like, I cry every time I hear the national anthem. I'm sparked. My emotions are sparked all the time. I'm a very emotional person. I love. I get teared up at the dumbest things, like a stupid ass movie. That for something about that didn't spark my emotion.
City Star Sound Ken Star 04 says I have $2,000. What's in that?
Actually, that's $2,000. Yo, my investments are off the fucking charts.
Bitcoin's going crazy.
Bitcoin's going fucking crazy. Tesla's going crazy. The 4 stocks I owned, I bought them. I bought all my investments like this year, and I'm up 20 grand profit. Like,
What?
I'm up 20. I'm up 20 grand profit.
You bought it in March, didn't you?
Yeah.
That's why.
Invest in. I only invest in things like I know. Like I only have like $90 left in my stock account. I could transfer more in there, but I wanted to buy. All right, here's a stock. Here, buy this stock. Buy this stock. Afterpay. I do only e-commerce sales, and I have 3 places where people place orders. If they place an order, it's either through Shopify payments or it's through PayPal. Shopify and PayPal, great stocks, but established. And there's this third company called Afterpay, and I actually use this other one called Sezzle, which I tried to buy stock of, but it's Australian, and it's basically like if it's $30, you can split your payments up into 3 payments of 10, and they'll charge you over three months. It is basically a credit card for e-commerce, and I cannot believe how many sales are coming through my website from Sezzle. Usually like 70% of my purchases go through people put their credit card in, 30% people put in their PayPal address. Now it's like 50% credit card, 25% Shopify, 25% Sezzle. These by the company Afterpay or the company Sezzle. Those companies are going to blow the fuck up. They're going to be the next PayPal. That's the stock you should buy. Sezzle or Afterpay. And I think Sezzle's only listed on the Australian market. Buy the company Afterpay. The problem with the stock, the reason I didn't buy it the other day was because I think it was kind of expensive. That doesn't mean anything. It's not about how expensive the stock is. It's about how much value it's going to bring you. Like if you can buy 1/5 of Facebook or 1 million shares of a little stock, it doesn't matter. It's the same thing. You're putting in this amount of money and it's going to increase this amount. I bought 5 shares of Tesla and it split. They did a 1/5 split. So now I own 25 shares of Tesla and it's split. So it's equal. Like if you own 5 shares and they're all worth $20, that's what's 5 times 20? That's $1,000. So then if you split it, you own 25, but they're all worth whatever 1,000 times 25 is. That's my specific stock advice. Buy the company Afterpay. What else?
Someone says, when was the last time you cried?
First viral moment in forever where people didn't dig into this background to try to cancel, which I love. Like, is he a piece of shit or something?
He just smokes weed. He lives in a trailer.
So?
Yeah.
Last time I cried. I don't cry easily. Like, I have mastered my emotions a little bit. I swear the last time I cried was definitely something to do with the national anthem. And, like, I remember when the NFL draft came around, they did this, like, bit about, like, the coronavirus, and they had heroes. They were, like, the heroes are, like, marching, and the heroes were the nurses, and the nurses, it was a very different. The NFL is very good at stirring up your emotions. After 9/11, the first responders were the heroes. Like, and in this current crisis, I think the NFL draft was in like February or March, maybe April, and it was in April, and I cried. I teared up during the little montage they did about the coronavirus and how tough it's been. And anything that about America makes me cry. If you have the right song, if you have the right tapping into my heart of how much I love America, and at the right moment, that's when I cry. I don't cry when I'm sad. I don't cry when I'm angry. I cry when I'm happily emotional. So I think it was the NFL montage during the draft was the last time I cried.
All right. I got another thing for you as well.
All right, another drawing thing.
Yeah. Why do people quit their jobs in 3 images?
Why do people quit their jobs in 3 images? Okay.
They're dead. They have no heart.
I don't know. So the first thing is they have a shitty boss. This is supposed to be like an evil little monster. If people hate their boss, then it doesn't matter how good the company is. And this can be a manager. This can be whoever they report to. In corporate terminology, who you report to would be your boss. Now, if you love the boss above that, and you can hating your boss, I think, is a reason for people to hate their jobs. Because if you hate your boss, then everything you do, you're like, why am I doing this? Like, why I'm doing this because this guy said so? Like, and the advice for bosses in that case would be, I never have once ever told my employees to do something that they don't understand why they're doing without explaining it to them. Like, if someone is ever doing a task that they don't understand why they're doing it, and they're like, why am I doing this? That's a situation where they're like, what the fuck? What am I doing? I don't even know why I'm doing this. So if they naturally understand why they're doing it, that's fine. If you can explain to it, that's fine. Bad boss is number one. Number two is you fall out of love with it. And a lot of people in 1 and 2 might be like, if you ever have a thought that I should quit my job, do it. Just fucking do it. Like, a lot of people don't do it because they think back to that 1, 2, and 3 thing. They're on number 2. They have security. And if they quit their job, they won't have any security anymore. Fuck security. Like, do it because you're going to end up finding something that is better for you. So if you hate your boss, that's one reason people quit their job. If you have no passion for what the company does, or you hate what you do every day, and you just hate waking up and going to work, that's the other reason you quit your job. And the third thing would be if you got a better job. And that's the best situation to be in because that means most people that have a job don't look for jobs. They have a job. Why would I look for a job? They don't look for a job because they're settling. But if you advance to a better job while you have a job, that's the best way to do it because that means you're doing the job and you're also, in the meantime, thinking about what you can do better for yourself and scoping out the opportunities. Always be thinking how you can do better. Always be thinking how you can do better for yourself. But if you hate your boss, you hate waking up every day and going to the job, even if you like your boss, it's just work that you hate doing. But you should quit for both those reasons. But the best reason to quit is because you have a better job. Then you give the 2 weeks notice, you end on a good note, and you go right into your old job. One of my new employees, Lindsay Ellis, great girl, customer service. She got hired for this job, and she gave a 2 weeks notice. And at her last job, they gave her a going away party with a cake. Like, that is a good way to do it, because that means that you're thinking ahead while you're still doing. Don't wait till you quit your job and look for a new job. Just be on your fucking toes and don't ever settle. Don't ever be like, this is how it is, and then go home and be frustrated and not think about it. If you go home and you're frustrated, use that frustration as energy to search for something better, and then do shit you don't like in the meantime. Control your energy. Be patient and just always try for something better and trust your instincts.
Do you know Dick Lawyer?
Yeah, it's my cousin.
Okay.
And it's Lawler.
Lawler.
Dick Lawyer. That's what he always calls you.
That'd be a great lawyer.
What's the worst way anybody ever left you in monograms? All right, I have a good answer for that. I said you want people to love your boss, right? I've hired like over 50 people. And right now we have 16 employees. And naturally, the jobs that I have, a lot of them do have some turnover. Some people have shipped packages for me for a year, and they just want to move on, and that's fine. There is a ceiling. If you ship packages for me for a year, and then you're not able to like become a manager or do something better with that, there is a ceiling for how much you can make and how much you can provide. If you have one employee that hates you, and they become friends with another employee and they hate you, and then they also, 2 people in the company hate the company. And when I say the boss in a small company, I mean the company. So 2 people have a negative attitude about the company. This happened to me. This one girl did not like the company. I don't really know why. She was kind of like a bratty girl, honestly. But her friend worked here, and her friend didn't like the company. And okay, I kind of knew this. I was very aware of this, and I was okay. And then there's this other girl, Mackenzie, that came to work for the company. She was great. And they became friends with Mackenzie. And I was like, okay, 3 of my employees are friends, and that's cool with me. But 2 of them don't like the company. So then they just naturally, the third person didn't like the company. If you go up to someone, you're like, yo, this company sucks. And they're like, they're not going to say, no, it doesn't suck. It's great. If it's their first week, they're going to be like, oh, that's interesting. So basically, all 3 of these people quit at once. And that is the worst thing that could happen. That's why you don't want to let negative energy spread through your company. Because if one person quits, you can replace them. It's not good. But if 3 people quit, that means you wake up the next day, you don't have an embroiderer, a printer, and a shipper. Like, you're out in 3 things. And that's the worst thing that ever happened, was 3 people quit at once. And they did it purposely to fuck us over. And I look back on the situation all the time to think, like, what did I do wrong? I'm a very naturally nice guy. I'm a caring guy, but I am like, I care about the company. Like, no, you can't take a 2-hour break and get paid for it. Like, I do have to have rules for things. And I'm obsessed with it, how the company runs efficiently. So like, if somebody doesn't care about rules at all and they're just chill, and I'm like, no, you actually can't take a 2-hour break today. You can clock into break, and then for an hour you can clock out. Like, they would, if someone's real like bratty, they might be like, oh, fuck this guy. Like, and I purposely don't hire people like that anymore. But you got to watch out for that. And then if one person's bratty, 2 people bratty, that can spread. One of the reasons I've been sad lately is because everything's going so great for me. And one of the reasons everything's going so great for me is because I have learned to hire people and run a company where that doesn't happen. So the worst leaving from UM was when 3 people left at once. Whew! What else we got?
I feel like we've been going fast. Okay, yeah, all right. Okay. How do you start a B2B company in 3 images?
I'm going to answer this. How do you vet that in an interview question? The person who's, okay, so if the conversation is about hiring in general, I'm actually not like one of the best people to ask about that, because not yet, because I have 16 employees. Most of them are labor workers, as far as they're printing packages, they're printing shirts, they're embroidering shirts, they're laying out shirts, they're answering customer service, they're shipping shirts. It's really simple, straightforward jobs. And the one thing that I hired for, the operations manager, big paying job, Worked for him for 7 months. I ended up firing him. Here's what you do. To answer that question, you find their social media and you see if they're complainers. If you go to their social media and their last couple of posts have been, today sucks, today's a bad day, you don't hire them. You don't hire them. You cannot accept people into your company who complain, especially on social media. That is for the lower level jobs. That is for like most of the people I have now. And if they don't have social media, then I get a sense of that in the interview. I have pretty good instincts and I trust my instincts. But if I see any complaints on social media, no chance I'm even having you in for an interview. No complaining. Complaining is the worst thing. For the higher level thing, my big operations manager that I just hired, worked for me for 7 months and fired, the one thing I should have done differently with that is I know that I trust my instincts. I know that I have good judgment. I should have called some of his references. For most of the times that I hire, I don't really call references, and I don't really care about your background, and I don't really care about your college degree. I just care about if you're in the area, if you're down to show up, if you basically understand why you like the job. For a lot of people, for me, it's do you like wearing headphones and listening to shit? Because a mistake I've made in the past is I've had some people who had great interviews, but they're chit-chatters. I actually kind of need introverts for a lot of the jobs. I want people who can throw their headphones in for 8 hours, focus on a task, and enjoy that. Some people enjoy that, some people don't. I need to find people who enjoy that. So for those jobs, not complainers, people who are introverts and enjoy getting a job done with their headphones in. For the big picture jobs, I do not have a lot of experience hiring for the big picture jobs, but I need to get better at that, and I need to hire for that, and that's one of the things I'm fighting for to get better at and have the opportunity to do those things. I want the operations to run without me so I can start hiring for these bigger picture jobs. But for my little experience with it, I would call references. I'll drop out of college and be your manager. You got the skills? Nico wants the job too. It's so weird. Like, I am good at hiring for jobs where I know exactly what I need you to do. Operations manager it's complex. You have to have some skill and some talent, but you also have to see. I only have one. I'm good at hiring for these jobs because I have a lot of interactions. I made a lot of mistakes in the beginning. A lot of mistakes. I only have one or two interactions hiring for this type of like big picture job. So I don't have enough experience yet to really be that versed on it. But there's a level of talent, there's a level of effort, and there's just a level of like, I need to do this, and prioritizing. So important. What was the thing you asked me to draw?
I'm changing it.
All
right. Draw something false.
Something. That's a pretty good book. Draw something false.
This is one of the questions Rachel made.
It's pretty good. Draw something false. What do you guys think is false?
No.
Can I go political with this one? Draw something false. All right. I think American racism is false.
That's
I mean, it's such a big conversation piece of politics. Racism. Most people don't give a fuck because they're selfish. If I'm burning and a black fireman comes to save me, am I thinking about his skin color? If I'm running a company, it's such a big narrative in the country, racism. And it's so fucking stupid. You want to know one thing I'll accept? It would be like nationalism. Like, well, you're not a citizen of the country, like, so you don't get the same rules. Like, Like, it's just such a big topic, and it should be such a small topic. So that's where I'm going with it. Like, I just don't think people are racist. And I even think the people that say they're racist, which is like literally nobody, by the way, I even think they're not even racist. I think they're lying. Like, how can you have to like try so hard to be racist. No one cares about your skin color. Skin color is so fucking irrelevant. And that is the beauty of the times. Like, America, we're the melting pot of the world. We have people come in from all different places. And like, we're at a point now where it's not really about your ancestry. It's more about you, individual people. Who the fuck are you? And I think most of the people who complain about racism are either have some political angle. And anything that's a political angle means that, if you say something is political, what does that mean? It means that a lot of people might vote for this or might vote for that, or you can get a lot of people's hearts with this message or get a lot of people's hearts with that message. It means it affects the votes. And I think racism still is a important topic in politics because it still does affect a lot of people in the way they think. And that's the part that frustrates me and I want to eliminate. I love intelligent political debates. How much should the tax code be? Like, what immigrants should we let in? Should we let in a certain amount? What should the rules be about that? There's a lot of intelligent debates in politics, and some of them are touchy. But the racism one is just, I cannot believe it has such pull anymore. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter where your skin color is. It's proved throughout society. And honestly, the dumbest people in the world would be the people who think it does matter and, like, I don't know, not hire somebody who's going to be a good employee for your company. I think that people who think America is currently a racist country is a false thing. I don't know. I feel like, Brandon, you don't always agree with me on that.
I mean, I like your perspective.
Like, what do you, like, how, like, and what would be the best way to challenge what I just said? And I'm open-minded.
If you were black,
like, then what?
Then you would have a different perspective.
But there's a million black people who say skin color doesn't matter. And there's some that say that, and there's a lot that say that it does.
Yeah.
Like, I remember when I was talking to the guy in the podcast, he's like, they checked my ID twice. Remember that? Andy.
He joined like 20 years ago.
Like, is that like, so the person behind the counter was racist and they checked his ID twice because
he's black? Yeah.
But is that true, or is that just like
their perspective?
And the perspective is wrong. And politicians try to sell that perspective to them because it's such a emotional element of the brain that it works. It can shift people's like actions because it's such a powerful part of the brain. If you say, hey, everyone hates you because of this, it's like, fuck that, dude. But if you're not looking for it, you don't see it. But if you are looking for it, you do see it. And it's such a rooted in the story of the country. Of course, slavery, of course, the civil rights. Like,
I don't know. I was raised where, like, I think 2 or 3 incidents where my sister and me was called the N-word with the ER at them.
Okay.
So it's kind of like, okay, then why would they say that if they're not?
In what situations were you called that?
It was actually from family. Like, I love my granddaddy to death, but it was one time I was working on this fence with him, and I was just doing horrible at it. And he's like, I could just hire an N-word to do it for me because he was so frustrated with me.
Oh, so he didn't say it to you?
Yeah.
Because you're not, are you black or white or what are you?
I it's hard for me to claim it. Like, I have tons of black friends, but I would never say the N-word to them.
And like, I actually love that because that's American. That's like the rock.
One of my friends, like, he always says to me, like, he's like, what's up, N-word? And I like never like want to say it. Like, yeah.
But like, when he said that, what did he mean?
I wasn't like doing the work.
He could hire someone at a lower wage.
Well, I was doing it for free.
Like, so his perspective is wrong too.
Well,
like, it's outdated.
6-7-year-old man, yeah.
Right. It's like he almost uses that word as a proxy for the word like a shitty person, and that is bad.
And like every time he talks about someone of color, he was like that black man, black woman.
See, the one thing this is actually a confusing thing. Like,
he described everyone by their color.
So I swear to God, like, I think about this. We have this UPS guy, and my own employee Candace. We have this UPS. We have two UPS guys, one white, one black. And I was like, "What UPS guy came today?" And she's like, "The black one." Like, it actually is a very simple way to, a lot of times you try to describe people.
Yeah.
You're like, "Oh, the guy with like this hair," or like,
yeah, I know you're talking about.
Like, it is actually like if someone said, like, I would say it was the black guy.
Yeah.
Like, that's the easiest way to pinpoint, like, if you're trying to pinpoint somebody. Is that racist then?
Yeah.
Like, it actually is the easiest way. Like, if you're saying, like, what UPS guy came and there's like 6 of them, 5 are black, or one is 5 are white, one's black, and you're like, what UPS guy came today? And I'm like, the black guy.
Yeah.
Like, that's just the most simple way to pinpoint who it is. So, like, identification is different than saying, like, oh, this black guy. Like, I feel like in those two things can easily get confused.
You could say offensive versus racist. There's a difference.
Offensive versus racist. I agree with that because, like, all right, so say someone on the street walks up to you and they have buck teeth, and you get in a little fight. Just like, you don't know anything about them, right? They have buck teeth, and you're pissed, and you're trying to insult them. You're like, all right, fucking buck teeth. Like, if you don't have any information about this person and you want to insult them in a tiny societal interaction, you are going to pick the thing that you see easiest. Say you're a fat person, or you have buck teeth, or you're cross-eyed, or you have a limp. Like, you go to that insult right away because you have nothing else. Like, if it was your good friend, you'd be like, all right, like, you don't even love your mom, or like, but you don't have that. So a lot of times people might say something racist, but because that's all they have. They're angry, and they're thinking about, what can I say about this person that just cut me off that I don't know? And they might come up with an insult right off the bat. What are they going to say? Hey, you cutter offer. No, they're trying to go a level deeper. They're trying to, like, diss that person in some other way. So if they're super fat, or if they're like, and if they're Mexican, or if they're like like, it's just, you can see the color of the skin.
Yeah.
And I think that might affect, like, common interactions as far as, like, descriptions, and I guess in that case insults. And, like, it's just because it is visible. It's visible. If someone's black and someone's white, the two things are visible. If someone's 6'8", that's fucking visible. Like I had a friend in high school, Greg Marlowe. He was 6'8", 6'7". Every time he meets a new person, they say to him, how tall are you? Oh, you're tall. Like, I actually have one of my new employees, Lindsay. She's very fucking tall. And I've never once said to her about how tall she is, because she probably fucking always gets that. Like, it's just it's an obvious outline characteristic that most times, if two people are the same height and the same color, they say, oh, where are you from? And then they start talking about their cities. If you meet someone, first thing you naturally do in a conversation is look for a piece of common information that you can talk about, or obvious information. And a lot of times it's where you're from. If someone's 6'8", or if someone's in a wheelchair, you'd be like, oh, what's going on with the wheelchair? Or why are you so tall? Like, and in that case, skin color can be a part of that conversation, which it's an obvious visual element. And that can just have an effect on common interactions for people who don't actually care if you're tall or not, or don't actually care if you're black or not. Like,
I mean, I think it goes back to one of your points is, like, how you're raised, how, like, some, like, black families teach, like, their sons to be scared and of the police, or be scared.
And that's a terrible thing to do.
And I was kind of the same way, because, like, I grew up in a white family, and we had different type of skin tone. And my mama taught us, like, we're different, and, like, you should, like, I don't know, look out for things.
Like, that obviously has to be the thing that has to change the most. Parents should not tell their kids that they are victims in any way, shape, or form. If your kid has a lisp, if your kid is blind in one eye, if your kid finds out she's going to be only 5'1", if your kid is black, if your kid is deaf, like, no matter what, and actually blind and deaf, those are actually, like, problems. The skin color is not. You should never tell anyone they're a victim when their brain is developing, because then they grow older and then they think, I'm a victim, and they start seeing the world through those eyes, and that develops losers. And I mean losers in a sense where like you will lose, like you will not be happy. And if you tell someone they can achieve anything they want to achieve, and if you tell someone you have limits on who you can achieve because of this, and it's bad. It's bad.
What is K-Fat talking about the wheelchair?
He's got a good point. He said, I was mentioning things that might be comparable to skin color, like deaf or blind, and I said in a wheelchair. Like, right. Like, hey, what's up, wheelie? Like, no. Like, I mean, okay, so like if you just meet someone on the street real quick and they're in a wheelchair, no, you don't address it. But like if you're talking to them for like 3 minutes or like 5 minutes, you're gonna it gets to a point in the interaction where it's awkward if you don't bring up the wheelchair. Like they're in a wheelchair, it's very visual, it's very obvious, it affects going in and out of doors. Like if you make friends with a wheelchair person, you're not going to be true friends until you discuss the wheelchair issue. Of course. Like that's so like, right. You don't want to walk over to someone and say that right away. And tall it's more of a positive thing. So like people might, hey, how are you tall? Why are you so tall? Like they probably wouldn't do that same thing to a wheelchair person, but like there's things that are visual that need to be addressed. And if skin color is one of them, like it doesn't mean that people are racist. It's just one of those visual things, and it sucks. Like people were so racist to Irish and Italian people, but no one knows anymore. So like that actually helps because it's not visual. So the visuality makes a big impact on the situation, how visual it is. But what you got to do is learn not to give a fuck, and it's hard for a brain to do that because it's visual. But I've trained my brain to not care about skin color at all. And that also means I'll go up to someone who has a different skin color and be like, fuck you, if that's what they deserve. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Some people, see, this is what a lot of white, like liberal people do. They're more racist because they say this person has a different skin color. Treat them differently now. Of course, two people, they both see it. This person has a different skin color. One person's going to say, ooh, I see it. I'm going to treat you differently. One person's going to say, I don't give a fuck what your skin color is. I'm going to treat you exactly the same. And then it's hard to be exactly the same if the conversation of the visual element is a little different. But the fucking Hollywood people are the worst. They're the worst because they will treat you differently. They'll give you more. They'll look down on you. You are a victim. Oh, poor person. Like that is the most modern day racism. It's people where skin color in a country where skin color doesn't matter. It doesn't. And the only way to progress it forward is to have it not matter. For these like liberal elites to be saying, oh, your skin color does matter. Very simply. And there's no other way to look at this. Skin color doesn't matter. That's the goal. If 100% of black people are poor and 100% of white people are white or rich, like, okay, it doesn't matter because skin color doesn't matter. How many people get accepted at Harvard? Is it how many Asians? How many black people? How many white people get accepted into Harvard? How many people with red hair? How many people with blue eyes? How many people that are left-handed? Once being left-handed is in brown-haired versus blonde hair is just as important as what color skin tone is. That's where we need to be. That's the goal. The goal is to, obviously we'll always see a difference. When you see a quarterback throw a left-handed football, you're like, that guy's a lefty. You see it. You see people who are tall. Once we get to a point where Harvard isn't breaking down who they accept by skin color, but they're not breaking down who they accept at all. That's obviously the goal, right? Do you think that's the goal?
Yeah.
Right? That's the goal. So let's work towards that goal. And we're pretty much there. Like I said, a fireman comes to save you and he's a different skin color. Are you going to be like, oh, I'm not accepting help from this fireman? Like if some guy's going to come in and has the answer to how to solve your business, if somebody's going to hire you for your dream job, you don't care about their skin color. Like, judge by skin color, but don't just feel for them. Don't judge. Yeah, basically what you're saying is skin color doesn't matter, and that's it. And by the way, in other countries, when I had Patrick Bet-David on my podcast, he was saying this is so serious in other countries. Like America's the least that cares about that, but it's still a big conversation. We're biologically wired for a lot of things, and we do see differences in like the Italians and the Irish, but we've all blended. I love the country, and it's been quite a rant. And I'm open to people with different opinions who think that I'm wrong, or I don't think that anything I'm saying is controversial. Like, all right, Brad, out of all the stuff I just said, what would be the most controversial opinion of mine? The fact that I'm white, and that like it's easy for me to say.
Yeah, that says that. Yeah.
But like,
I think that's how I'm taught.
that's such a shitty argument in a really intelligent debate. In an intelligent debate, you can't think like this because of this. Well, what if I jumped out of my head and tried it? I'd love to experience the world from a different viewpoint. I can't. Nobody can. But like people can try, and like it's a perception conversation, and perceptions can be shifted.
I think it's more of a paranoia. Like when I'm around friends that like are black, I can feel that paranoia in them when they're like in a certain situation.
And the fact that they have, and those people, they might not be political. Those people, they just have this paranoia, and like, they shouldn't feel like that.
Yeah.
They should not feel like that. Like in reality, cops don't. If you say, "I'm sorry, officer, what's the problem?" and you have your license and registration ready, they're not gonna fucking shoot you. Like they're not. Like you can find cases maybe like that to prove that that's wrong. Like they're not. Like, but if you're paranoid, then you're like, "Oh, this guy's gonna shoot me." Then you're gonna be defensive on your own, and it's just bad training, it's bad thinking. And I feel I care. I care about the person that feels like that. And what can I do about it? I'm not going to fucking pander to him. I'm not going to treat him like a little baby bitch because nobody wants to be treated like that. These people are fucking smart. So all I got to say is like, dude, who gives a fuck?
I think with me growing up, like my whole family was like Republican conservative, but like just being raised saying, "Oh, you're mixed, you're different." I kind of like catered towards the Democratic Party, thinking that's like what blacks liked. But I was like a part of the Obama thing. Hope.
I mean, Obama was an amazing politician.
But the biggest thing is that, like, I don't know what I'm trying to say. Like,
so you're saying you were raised in a conservative Republican South Carolina family, but you were mixed.
Yeah.
And that gave you a different perspective of life.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
the South, too. I was raised in the South.
And how did you, and I'm genuinely curious, how did you get that different perspective? Was it from like more what you were told in school and the news, or more what you were told by your family?
I think, okay, the one thing how to describe it is like I was always hanging out with my grandparents and with older white
and they were very aware of it.
Well, they didn't treat me any different, but like I had, you know, what people say, white privilege and not white. I felt that like some people treated me like I was white. And then I felt a difference. Like some people treated me like I was different. And I always had that like mixture. Like I felt the difference in different people. So
it's like one of the worst things for this whole conversation that is a big problem in the conversation, I think, is like the Uncle Tom's thing.
Yeah.
That's the worst thing. Like it's basically like, "Oh, what? You're not with us? You're with them?" And like it's so stupid. And I hate that. I hate that phrasing because I always say, like, if you want to be successful, like as a personality, you got to break out of what your current friends and family think. Like that's the exact message.
Yeah.
It's people try to bring you down. If you leave the pack, and if you have friends with 9 unsuccessful high school friends, and you're the 10th, and you try to go on and do something better, they're gonna be like, "All right, bookworm," and that's true for any group of people in any situation. And if skin color happens to be part of that story, then they're gonna say, "Oh, hey, it's Uncle Tom. But what are you trying to go be all rich on us and study books?" Like, and it's just another form of doing that exact thing that has always existed. That's a problem. But it's just skin color's a part of it.
I know what I was trying to say now. So basically, raised in the Obama era of hope, and they like messaged him as the black president. And they always made it about like, this is black empowerment, this is black hope. If he can become the president, anybody can do it. And me and my sister, the first time we voted, we were like, we sat up and watched that. Like, we thought like, oh, someone looked like us was the president. But, and that made me like cater towards people's feelings, seeing like the person said like, oh, there's racism in America and I hate it and I want things to change. As like an emotional, I guess, 18-year-old, I want them to have that feeling.
Yeah. So the way I see that is, I think it's
cater toward emotions.
But it is a good thing that that happened. Like,
yeah.
Okay, we've had a black president. Like, that's good. But in this situation that you're talking about, skin color matters.
Yes, I was raised in the Obama.
So the goal is for skin color not to matter.
Yeah, but they kind of made you think it does matter.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I don't think, skin color doesn't matter. It doesn't matter in our daily transactions. It doesn't matter in our daily life. But in like a bigger picture sense, when you look at the history of the country and the story and the politics, like, just go back to that. Go back to, wait, does skin color matter? No, skin color doesn't matter. All right.
I think that's one of the differences between Republicans and Democrats.
Democrats think skin color matters.
Yeah.
Republicans don't think skin color matters.
Yeah.
Currently. Politics are always
shifting.
But we just said it. Obviously, the goal is for skin color not to matter.
Yeah. I think the best reference is Tim Scott of South Carolina. He's a black Republican.
And what would Democrats call him? Uncle Tom?
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly. Yeah. So they try to use that. And that's when people say the Democrats have had the same narrative for all these years. It's that. Yeah. It's like, oh, you're going.
Who's that doctor too that was like Republican? The brain doctor?
Ben Carson.
Yeah.
Ben Carson is the nerdiest, slowest. Like, he's obviously really smart, but skin color doesn't matter. And in that has to be the default. And I think that is the default. But then when people start talking about politics, then it comes up. Every single time you think about this narrative and you want to make the world better, run it through one filter. One filter. Does skin color matter? The first black this. Why does it have to be the first black one? Why skin color doesn't matter, so it doesn't matter. Like, why isn't it the first guy named Brent that was the first guy to do this? It's the same thing. Like, that's where we have to get to. And that's where, like, I think we are on, like, a reality level. And that's why I don't think the country's racist. But then the narrative, the story, which could affect how people raise their kids, and then they get back into the story. I can't imagine, like, the thing I love about America and the whole storyline of America is anyone can be anything. And that is the storyline of America. Obviously not slaves. Right. Big black eye on the country to begin. It's over. Anyone can be anything. Anyone can be anything. That is the American dream. I love America. I just mentioned before this. I cry when I hear the national anthem sometimes in the moment history, right? Thinking about how much I love this country. If anyone in this country doesn't feel that feeling, it makes me so upset. And there's two ways to attack that. One is to tell them, oh, I feel so bad for you. Oh, you little poor little baby. Or the other thing is, dude, no one gives a fuck, buddy. And I am more of a no one gives a fuck, buddy kind of guy. And it doesn't mean I'm not caring about their happiness. That's all I care about. I want everyone to have the opportunity to succeed, and everyone does. Everyone does. Everyone in this country has the opportunity to succeed. If you think your skin color matters, start an e-commerce business where no one can see you. And right?
Yeah,
right?
So, yeah.
Like, in any single facet of society where people have had success, politics, business, medicine, sports, people of all different skin colors have got to the highest level. Therefore, if one person can do it, then anyone can do it. So it doesn't matter. Never think like a victim. All right. I'm out, and the winner's going to be Ashtrays because he fucking deserves it. Love you guys.